born in the heartland of Tamale, with a hometown in Walewale, to be elected as a presidential candidate of Ghana's largest political party speaks to the character of the party. The MPP is a party that is all-embracing, a party that rewards hard work, loyalty, and commitment to its values. The delegates, by today's decision, have resoundingly dismissed any doubts that the MPP is not inclusive and does not reward hard work.
Yes, Dr. Bawumia had said it right. The traditions of Dankwa, Dombo, and Buzia had continued to find later generational leaders from the dominant Akan group. So it began with Dr. Dankwa, who enjoyed the massive support of the Ashanti group and the Northern Territories. Then came Professor Buzia, for whom Chief SD Dombo stood down so that Buzia would be leader. Then came Victor Owusu, who made Tolona Yakubu Tali his running mate. And then came Professor Duboahin, who had Loyal Hassan as his running mate. They didn't win, but J.A. Kufuor won. And he had Alhaji Aliu Mahama as his running mate. Aliu, the engineer from Dagomba, was the first UP tradition vice president in Ghana. By the time Aliu became vice president, the northern sector had one president in history in the person of Dr. Hela Liman.
Service and well-being of the people of Ghana and to do right to all in this manner.
Aliu was the first non-Akan to try to lead the MPP at the 2007 Congress. He was the only non-Akan of all the 17 aspirants. Aliu lost, but came in a respectable third after Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, a party colossus, and Alan Chamatin, the establishment candidate of the day, had shared the two top positions. Alhaji Aliu's over 100 votes garnered indicated, or should have indicated, that the seats were beginning in the minds of delegates that one day, just one day, they may change the leadership outlook of the party. 2008 was not a good year for the MPP. They lost the elections, but in 2012 it was even worse. The MPP lost an election that they felt that they should have won. There was total dejection everywhere.
Enough reports have come into the MPP election headquarters to make us believe that the elections had been marred by lots of irregularities to undermine the credibility of the election. The Electoral Commission will not listen and adopted the attitude that had always characterized their reaction to any criticism of their actions. Quote, "If you are dissatisfied, go to court." Unquote.
At that time, the party was looking for real evidence to go to court to challenge Dr. Afarijan. And guess what happened? Dr. Bawumia stepped in to provide the basis that he, Bawumia, can be relied upon in difficult times. He stood up, he was noticed, and he was loved.
These votes amount to 1,340,080. All of this is backed by documented evidence.
From that time onwards, the party seemed united that after Akufo-Addo, Dr. Bawumia will be ready. Some went as far as suggesting that Akufo-Addo should pledge to do only one term in case victory came and have Dr. Bawumia to run the second term. Whatever it is, the party folks had started looking at Bawumia as the next in line since the year 2015.
On the basis of the foregoing figures, and by the power vested in me as the chairperson of the Electoral Commission and the returning officer for the presidential election, it is my duty and my privilege to declare Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as the President-elect of the Republic of Ghana.
When power was eventually won, some groups were immediately formed to consolidate the Bawumia hold. On such platforms, they referred to Dr. Bawumia as DMB. So by election 2020, the DMB agenda was firmly on the ground. Sometime in 2020, I had a conversation with Nana Poku, one of the party stalwarts. Nana Poku asked me how I perceive the post-2020 NPP. I said to him that whatever it is, Dr. Bawumia, the vice president, will be a contender. And then he said to me, Paul, I really wish Bawumia can win. Then he added, you know what? The point that makes me even happier is that historically, Nana Poku said, the NPP Congress has never made a mistake in choosing the candidate. He added that this included 1998 when his side, that's Akufo-Addo's side, lost the 1998 Congress. He said that all of this gave him gratification that given all the circumstances, the NPP Congress will never make a mistake. So that was a conversation in 2020. 3 years down the line, last Saturday, as I sat at Joe Anoche's strong room, observing the results from the NPP Coalition Center, Nana Poku's words continue to ring in my mind. The NPP Congress has never made a mistake.
I will continue to involve myself fully in the work of the party. We want power. We want power. We want power. We want power. We want
Mr. Chairman, it is with a sense of great humility and modesty that I acknowledge the party's massive endorsement of me as the flag bearer of the NPP for election 2000. Together, we will work hard, very hard, to ensure a historic victory in the next elections.
I am grateful to you and want to let you know that I'll do everything in my power not to let you down, so that the decision you have made here will bear fruit for us next year. Once again, thank you. Akufo-Addo!
But there is another angle to the DMB victory, and is Akufo-Addo's philosophy. Over his political career, Nana Addo appears to have settled in a philosophy that holds three strands: unity of party, broad-based selection of party leadership, and independent media.
UNC, the party for you. Vote for UNC, the party for you.
What made the UNC of 79 attractive was his philosophy of broad-based. They used to say in those days that broad-based is the best. UNC all the way. Convention, they said, a clean pa wilia neko.
UNC, the party for you. Vote for UNC, the party for you. Broad-based the best. UNC all the way. Convention, a clean pa wilia neko. Broad-based the best. UNC all the way. Convention, a clean pa Convention, a clean.
Incidentally, when the coup of 81 came, the broad-based elements had joined the PNDC and therefore handed over the broad-based attributes to the NDC in 1992. I'm referring to the likes of Obed Asamoah, the General Secretary of the broad-based UNC, who became the Minister for Foreign Affairs for the NDC. Also, Alhaji Mahama Idrisu, the Vice President of the broad-based philosophy, became the Minister for Defense of the NDC. Justice D.F. Annan, P.V. Obing, and Harry Sawyer both had UP sympathies, but were all swayed by the broad-based philosophy which the NDC now completely controlled. A few other broad-based ideologues, however, remained with the UP, which was now the NPP. I refer to Peter Ajete, later to be Speaker of Parliament, Samoku Jeto, and Professor Eduboain. So the NDC since 1992 had used the broad-based campaign to win majority of the minority tribes in almost every election. The tragedy for the NPP was that even in the north, where they had historical dominance because of the Northern People's Party of Chief Dombo and the senior Bawumia, NDC had taken the north. The Kufuor era also drove home the NPP Ashanti Akan tag. So by 2008, the NDC had so milked the broad-based appeal that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was able to win only 2 regions, Ashanti and Eastern, and yet he led the first round of the 2008 elections by 100,000 votes. If Akufo-Addo had won any other region in 2008, whether Central or Western, surely, most certainly, Nana Addo would have been sworn in as president in January 2009. So there it is. Akufo-Addo felt the highest detriment of the MPP Akan tag. So from the day he was sworn in, Nana Addo was determined to change this. In doing so, he focused on two important matters. The first one was to resolve the Dagbon crisis, which was created under the Kufuor regime and had become an MPP problem. It was very delicate, but together with the support of the Asante-Hene, Akufo-Addo prevailed.
And therefore, Mr. President, we've come here to inform you. This committee took a decision and said that the funeral of Na Yakubu and Na Muhammadu Abdullahi should be performed from the 14th of December to the 28th of December this year. They have a 1-week respite, and the next will be from the 4th to the 4th to the 19th or 18th of January. Then the Andanis would also perform. On that very day, the last day, the Friday, there are 4 recognized elders who have to sit in seclusion, and then they would have to do their oracles to choose a new Yana. And that starts from the very Friday that the funeral of Na Yakubu and Dani finishes. So we hopefully believe so that after the 18th, the oracles will start, and God willing, within the few days, we shall have a new Yana.
I am neither an Abudu nor an Andani. I am an Abudani. A person who stands for unity, reconciliation, and progress in Damon.
Akufo-Addo set out to highlight, especially to his close friends and his party ministers, that Dr. Bawumia had done enough to lead the party in spite of the fact that he was not an Akan. In supporting Dr. Bawumia, Akufo-Addo was clearly aware that Dr. Bawumia's innovative and intellectual strength relating to problem solving at the national level was admirable. The president used to tell his close friends that during their meetings, high-level meetings, Dr. Bawumia appears to have a solution, a strategic and innovative solution to almost every problem. Akufo-Addo has been of high praise for Bawumia's intellect, and his vice president had given the president and almost all of us in Ghana a very high regard for PhD holders. About this matter, every political watcher is aware that civil society may not have had its best relations with Akufo-Addo, especially after the Domelevo incident. However, with Dr. Bawumia in charge, the civil society organizations know that they have their man in charge. He's a fellow PhD who understands the value of research and a very strategic thinker that they can talk to 24/7. So please, tell Dr. Lloyd Amoa, Professor Kwesi Prempeh, Dr. Bafo Ajemandua, Mr. Bright Simmons, Professor Gatsi, and Professor Bokpin. Tell them that Akufo-Addo has handed over his party leadership to their man. Hopefully, another PhD will be president of Ghana again, and they, the CSOs, will have their man at Jubilee. Kofi Bentel of Imani appeared to have nailed this idea in his post. Portions of his post fully endorse Dr. Bawumia. The point, though, is no economist has historically led a nation, Ghana, whose economics is the biggest priority. Dr. Kwabena Dufo made this point during his campaign against John Mahama to lead the NDC recently. Now, back to MPP party politics. Dr. Bawumia would have important decisions to make as early as this. The results of Saturday's poll show that Dr. Bawumia lost in 2 regions, the Central region and the Volta region. What it means is that Dr. Bawumia and his team, the MPP party, would have to work very hard to win the party loyalty in the Central region and the Volta region. In this regard, they will need Kennedy Agyapong and his team. I'm referring to my uncle Ofakwame Owusu, who promised me that Kennedy was going to win 60%. I refer also to Pentecost Richman Oponbio and media avatar Edward Boateng, all of them Kennedy's friends. So it was heartwarming for the MPP faithfuls when Kennedy Agyapong spoke at the end of the contest at the Accra Sports Stadium last Saturday.
And I must admit, this election is fair. And my grassroots have spoken. And therefore, I accept the results in good faith.
DJ Sky Lolo.
I pledge my support that we're going to work tirelessly to break the 8.
Now, Dr. Bawumia would have to select a running mate, and as they say, he would have to rely on the Ashanti region for that. So the jury is out on the choice of running mate. Would it be Dr. Osei-Duchu, Minister for Education? Will it be Matthew Poku Prempeh Napo, Minister for Energy? Will it be Osei Mensah Bonsu, Majority Leader in Parliament, Chief of Staff Freeman Opare, or First Deputy Speaker of Parliament Joe Osei-Usu? If Bawumia will choose a running mate from Ashanti, then what will Kennedy Agyapong be doing? That's a big question. Kennedy could have a role in suggesting who could be the running mate. Yes, but party insiders are saying that Kennedy Agyapong will have a key role to play in the campaign. That's a position of authority, and all those who have a key role to play in the campaign will be sharing that with President Akufo-Addo. Oh yes, Akufo-Addo will be the campaign manager for this campaign, and why not? This will be the most important election in his 50-year political career. It is therefore ironic, isn't it, that having won 2 elections and lost 2 elections, this election, in which Akufo-Addo will not be on the ballot, is the most important election to him. And it is, because if Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is able to shepherd the MPP into a 3rd term after his 2 terms, then his name will be written in gold for the party and the nation. So, Akufo-Addo will be the campaign manager. For now, Dr. Bawumia has broken the heart of the NDC. He truly has.
I feel very sorry for Dr. What's his name? Mahmoud Bawumia. Is that it? All he needs to do is to take a good look at what happened to Alhaji Aliyu Mahama. Is Mahmoud Bawumia actually dreaming that in the unlikely event of MPP winning power, somehow, after Akufo-Addo had run his term, he, Mahmoud Bawumia, will be made a candidate of the MPP? Are you dreaming, Mahmoud Bawumia? Are you dreaming? You don't know the party in which you are? You don't understand that if you are not an Ashanti or Achim, you have no chance?
Sometimes I feel sad when I see some of our northern brothers running around and also doing this. They will use you and dump you. Ezu, I want to live to see the day. You let anything happen today, and let our brother Bawumia say he's standing for president in MPP. They will never give it to him. I can assure you. When the misfortune hit us and our father, Professor Mills, passed away, the Constitution said that the Vice President should take over. I did. But then we're close to an election. If it was another party, they would have insisted that there should be a Congress. And in that Congress, I would have been contested. And they would have given the leadership to somebody else. But when it happened, the NDC's National Executive Committee called a meeting and said, no, there will be no Congress. We are passing a resolution. John Mahama is the Vice President. We are going to support him to lead us into this election. And we went into the election, and God gave victory to us. And so I'm proud to be a member of the NDC, because I know it is a party that opens opportunities for all people of Ghana, irrespective of your ethnic affiliation or your religious affiliation.
It is my great privilege to hand over the flag of the new patriotic party to you, Muhammadu Bawumia. There you are.
Well. What's the new strategy for the NDC? They can't say anymore that the MPP is an Akan party. That's one of their strong pillars being completely dismantled by the brilliance and the sacrifices of Mumuni Bawumia's son, the younger Bawumia, whom they teased as a Wale Adam Smith. The Wale Adam Smith is now poised to prevent John Mahama from becoming president again. Well, we will take a break for Christmas, and when we return, the campaign will be on the highway campaign. Good luck to all, especially Dr. Bawumia and John Mahama.
It is my great privilege to hand over the flag of the new patriotic party to you, Muhammadu Bawumia. There you are. There you are.